A big thank you to all of the sponsors that made this video possible. And a big thank you to NVIDIA and PNY for sending over their Accelerate 4070 Ti for my new benchmarking PC. It's a powerful 12GB card with new features like DLSS 3 and frame generation for extra performance in games. More on that later. Enjoy the video. What's up guys, Ozzy from OzTalksHW, and after watching a ton of Daniel Titchener videos, I've come to the conclusion that my room kinda sucks. As a bedroom, it's fine. I mean, I have my bed, a few miscellaneous items to give my bedroom some personality, but then I have my 55-inch desk. From this one single desk, I meant to record my videos, build computers, live stream, and then also do my software engineering day job. It's not efficient. So over the last 4 months, I've upgraded my room to fit my needs. And I have to say, I'm satisfied with how everything works. So with that being said, here's my first setup tour on the channel in over 6 years as a 24-year-old software engineer, part-time YouTuber, and closeted weeb/K-pop fan. Let's get started. Let's start with my recording studio. Originally, it consisted of a tripod that I've had for about 5 years, 2 newer studio lights, and then my Panasonic S5 camera that I bought about 2 years ago. The equipment itself works phenomenally, but it just takes so long to set up. This caused a lot of friction to start recording, and so I needed a way to have my studio always set up. But with limited space, I had to get a little bit creative. I bought 2 C-clamps from Newer and attached them to my dresser. This way, my lights are always ready to go. I seat my camera on a monopod and have that monopod sitting on top of my dresser. These 2 simple and affordable fixes mean that it takes literally less than 30 seconds to go from my lazy button bed to actually recording a video. A-roll can always be from this spot, and my backdrop is crisp pretty much every time, even at night. A few feet from my recording studio is my upgraded desk area. You like that little spin, right? It was cool. Thought of it myself. I replaced my 55-inch desk with 2 63-inch desks that go along the entire window side of this wall. One desk is specifically for work, this one right here, and then one is for YouTube, live streams, etc. back over there. To be completely honest, standing desks weren't on my radar whatsoever, but FlexiSpot sent over these 2 EP4 standing desks. They have been magnificent. Over the last 2 months, I've used them daily for both software engineering work and for my PC builds and live streams, and they've held up incredibly well. It only took about 2 hours to actually build both of these desks combined, and they come with a cage on the underside for hiding wires, and with multiple lights, cameras, and computers plugged in, I definitely get my money's worth in this feature. And although I don't switch between standing and sitting too much, having the adjustability and height is kind of a lifesaver for an overhead camera rig. I love the flexibility it gives for PC builds or live streams, or if I just want to get a really cool shot.
Isn't that cool?
Plus the motor is pretty quiet as well.
I can stand and build.
So thank you FlexiSpot for sending it over. And if you're a creator like me or you work from home, definitely check out a standing desk. I doubt I'll ever buy another desk again. The desk supports both work and play, but there's still some clear, definitive boundaries between each. So I have my MacBook here that I got from work, and it sits on top of this metal laptop stand, which has honestly been one of the best purchases ever. And I have it always connected to this 4K LG monitor that my work sent me as well. It sits on top of this monitor riser right here that also acts as storage for my Logitech G915 keyboard and my PicTech mouse when I'm not using them. My gaming and editing rig sits directly to the left of my setup on this mini dresser, and it's also connected to the monitor. So if I ever want to play a game, maybe on a lunch break or after work, I just change the input. I pull out my Logitech keyboard and my PicTech mouse, and then I'm good to go. I upgraded the PC mostly over time. It was most recently a Ryzen 5 2600 RTX 2060 with 16 gigs of RAM, and now it has a 5800X, 32 gigs of RAM, and an RTX 3080. And I honestly doubt that I'll upgrade it for another few years. It works really well. And now we move to where the magic happens, the little YouTube setup / studio. And this is my favorite part of this entire setup tour because it has so much functionality in such a small footprint. For example, say I want to capture a PC build or some hardware B-roll shots. All I do is I turn on my G7 camera that's sitting on this newer boom arm, and voila, ready to go. Well, let's say I want to live stream. Well, I just take my Panasonic S5 camera, fashion it to this $35 newer ring light, open OBS on my laptop, and voila, ready to go. Or say I want to benchmark a new video card. Something random like the PNY RTX 4070 Ti Accelerate Verto with 12 gigs of VRAM, a stylish design, and great cooling. Well, I have this wonderful benchmarking PC back here that can do just that. This is my first time in like 7 years, essentially my entire YouTube career, where I have a dedicated hardware testing station. And it's really nice. I don't have to take apart my main computer every time I want to test a hardware component. The centerpiece of this build is obviously the video card, the 4070 Ti, and it's the Accelerate Verto edition from PNY. Triple fan design, sleek, 12 gigs of VRAM. It also supports DLSS 3, which will be perfect for benchmark comparisons, which I'll do a lot of, but it will also just give me an FPS boost whenever I stream games on the computer. Now to feed the 4070 Ti, we have a Ryzen 9 7950X on a Gigabyte X670E Aorus Master motherboard. Before anyone asks, Ozzy, update the BIOS, your chip is gonna burn. Yeah, I updated it, we're good. It's also not an X3D chip, so we should be fine. I have an Enermax Aqua Fusion AIO to cool the Ryzen 9. It has a 240mm radiator and it comes with ARGB fans. Overall, great cooler. It looks really nice too. Now, as far as internals go, we have PNY Accelerate for both our RAM and our SSD. We have the Mako Gaming Edition for the RAM, 32 gigs, DDR5, 6000 megahertz. It has a low profile design, which is good when space is a premium. And although this is a really large case, I still like that because it's not as flashy. And then we have the PNY CS3140. It's a 1TB PCIe Gen 4 SSD, but goes up to 4TB with insane speeds. Now we'll get into benchmarks a little later, but TLDR for now, it's fast. To power this entire thing, we have the Enermax 850 watt power supply from their Revolution DF lineup, and everything is wrapped up inside the gorgeous Corsair 5000D airflow. It's one of the biggest cases I've ever used in my life, but it's so worth it. I've paired the computer with the Pixio PX275C Prime. It features a 100Hz refresh rate and a 1440p resolution with an IPS screen. It's a great combination of screen, real estate, fluidity, and color accuracy, and it's affordable. So it's no surprise that this computer is fast, but here's how it performs compared to my main gaming rig with the 5800X, 32 gigs of RAM, and RTX 3080. As you can see, these new components are great. They run cool and quiet after I optimized a few things. Now the biggest difference is in the memory performance. My current PC has a 2TB PCIe Gen 3 SSD and 32 gigs of DDR4 3000 MHz memory, but it doesn't hold a candle to the Accelerate SSD and RAM. This is great for loading times in big games like GTA or World of Warcraft, or scrubbing timelines in a video editor. And gaming, the 4070 Ti is a great performer, especially with the Ryzen 9 CPU. It's a tier above my 3080 in Rainbow Six Siege and in Cyberpunk, plus it has some extra goodies that the 3080 does not offer. Atomic Heart supports DLSS 3 and frame generation, which gives my 4070 Ti a big performance boost without any visual degradation. Now it's hard to show on camera, but the game still looks great with all of this enabled. Now it's just an in-game option you toggle in the game menu, so it's super easy to turn on. It's one of those things that's a might as well featured for single player games where graphics and immersion and insert X buzzword here matters. Even if you play multiplayer competitive games, if it supports DLSS 3, just turn on NVIDIA Reflex and then you get that lower latency. So it's a win-win. 3 months in the making and my setup is pretty much done. And I never thought I would reach the point where I could streamline my setup inside of a 11 by 12.5 foot bedroom. But you know what the real kicker is? I'm moving in less than a month. So all of this will be gone. So thank you guys so much for watching, and thank you to all of the sponsors that made this possible. Otherwise, I would be in the hole thousands and thousands of dollars. So seriously, thank you. FlexiSpot, NVIDIA, PNY Technologies, Gigabyte, GroveMade, Corsair, Enermax. Thank you. And then a big thank you to you guys. Seriously, without you, none of this would be possible. and I'm super appreciative. If you guys want a more in-depth list of everything in my room, at least the stuff that matters pertaining to the channel, you can check the description. I'll have all of the details there and links to all of the products. So if you want to try something out or upgrade your own setup, you have that option. All right, that's it. Nothing else. I'll see you guys later. That was awkward, but peace. Bye.